I was wrong about ICP. You see this chart here, which has an aggressive push towards the upside recently, I thought was mainly driven by retail, by hype and excitement happening across YouTube and Twitter with a barrage of videos on ICP, but no. It's actually because of something else that's going on chain right now, which is absolutely crazy. And in this video, I'm going to show you some of those statistics and some of the facts and figures that are driving this growth in the ICP ecosystem, because it's going to tell us just where ICP is heading. And if you stick around to the end of this video, I'll also tell you where I think ICP's price prediction is going to be at in the next year or so. So do me a favor, hit that like button and let's get into today's video. Now guys, as you know, over the last year or so, I've been making videos on ICP, and ICP has been around $2 when I was calling buy signals for my community. Since then, we've seen a huge amount of growth, with ICP then gaining all the way up to around $16.3 before having a fairly serious pullback, which is great because it gives us now a bit of breathing time and an idea about whether or not we can get involved in this coin. Now, as you know, if you subscribe to my channel, the hype and attention drifts from one coin to another over time. Last year, Casper caught most of the hype and attention. We saw other coins like Render and Solana gaining a bit of this steam, and then ICP kind of came out of nowhere and suddenly blew up. And that's a great thing because it gets lots of people buying into it. A lot of excitement and stuff builds behind a project. But once that hype goes away, we tend to see big pullbacks. So I was a bit more cautious, and I thought that ICP would be pulling back much further than where we are right now. Until I did this. I went over to defilama.com, free website, and here down below you've got to where it says chains, and then I said down below to see total value locked on chains. And what I did is I sorted by the increase over 1 month in total value locked on chain. Now, at the top, you can see Manta, 31 protocols, up 886% in the last 1 month. That's value locked on chain, that's not the price. ICP sits in second with just 5 protocols and is up 489%. That is absolutely huge for ICP, because up until more recently, ICP was a massive valuation company with multi-billion-dollar market cap that wasn't really making much money, making a revenue of like less than $20,000. It's not particularly exciting for a chain of that size. And then I got into ICP itself, okay? And then look at this, guys. Look at the TVL and look at how it's increasing on DeFi Llama right now. It's absolutely been exploding, and guess what? It's been exploding while the price has been going down. Are you starting to see what I'm seeing? Now, this tells me something. The value of internet computer as a kind of an ecosystem is going up very aggressively. The price isn't reflecting that. The price is going down as people are selling it off because people in the hype train got bored and they're going to look at other things. But this is fundamentally going to give more value to the ecosystem and see it rise while everyone's looking in the other direction. And as we come down below, we can see some of these projects that are starting to gain revenue. This is very key because back in the autumn, we saw a huge amount of growth in the likes of AVAX or Avalanche off of coins on Avalanche that were doing great things. Trader Joe, particularly, Pangolin, another. These are both DEXs or decentralized exchanges that were gathering a lot of interest. Sonic is a DEX. Look at it, guys. Up 1,400% in its monthly change, okay, in TVL. Coming down below, you got ICP Swap, another DEX, 10.9 million. IC DEX, 1.38. Okay, they're very small. Some of these are very small, but these growth curves are absolutely crazy. And if we can start to see more growth curves of TVL in tokens that are running on ICP, then we got some very exciting stuff coming up. And you're like, okay, fine. But crypto's going down. Why do I want to be involved in these projects? Well, guys, crypto is giving you the feeling that it's going down because it's been going up a lot recently. And then over the last week or so, it's a bit quiet. But look, the real reason that crypto pumps and dumps is down to liquidity. Liquidity and global liquidity, effectively money flow, is what causes it. If you look at this chart, you can see over time, we've got Bitcoin price at the top. Every time we're seeing drives in liquidity being pushed into the market by the People's Bank of China. And also when we start to see crypto liquidity arriving, and then we start to see USD liquidity as well from the Federal Reserve, which is slowly and quietly being injected into the market to ensure that the economy stays in a good position going forward, well, then we see a big growth in crypto. And you can see that this kind of growth in crypto kind of happens after the kind of surges in liquidity. Notice the surge in liquidity happens for the People's Bank of China, and then crypto prices around a few months behind. This massive surge in Chinese liquidity right there hasn't really started to come in and have a huge impact on the price just yet, because the price of Bitcoin will follow this. Therefore, it's easy to imagine this, that we are currently in this yellow zone up here. If we look back to 2017, this is that yellow zone. Okay, the yellow zone drove us up. We had a partial bear market, and then we ran into another big bull market. This is the start of a big two-phase bull market that's going to be running over the next few years. And while we're having a quiet kind of month, look at what happened after that last quiet month in 2017. 7 or 8 months of just complete upside mayhem that I think is going to arrive into crypto. So we need to be positioned correctly in the coins and ecosystems that are growing. So is ICP growing, or is it just getting more TVL, more total value locked? Well, yes, it is. If you come across to Twitter, and give me a follow, first of all, because every day I'm talking about various opportunities, and everything that I talk about on here is usually 24 hours or 48 hours ahead of when I cover it on YouTube. So if you want to be ahead, guys, give me a follow over on Twitter. As well as that, I'm just about to hit 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. So I'm going to be doing a giveaway of 5 times $100. All you need to do is make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, subscribe to my Twitter, and down below, leave the name of the coin, Internet Computer, for example, that you want to receive $100 worth of, and I will select 5 winners when we hit 100k subscribers, which should be in the next few days. Now, I've been following a few different people, but I've been following Electric Capital, an early stage venture capital firm who's been doing some really deep due diligence into ICP. And this particular report is all about ICP and everything that's been going on with ICP up until January 2024. And look at it, guys. It's absolutely crazy. Internet Computer, active developers coming on chain right now is absolutely surging. And why is that important for us? Well, new developers come and build on top of ICP. First of all, they have to buy ICP to be able to use the canisters to build on top of ICP. Also, the reason Ethereum, the biggest L1 out there, is so big is because everything previously was built on Ethereum. That's what enabled Ethereum to get massive, because it had more developers than anything else. We then started to see the same happen with Solana and now ICP. And ICP overall is the 5th fastest growing ecosystem by monthly devs out there, with a pretty illustrious top 4 ahead of it: Starknet, Osmosis, Moonbeam, and Optimism. But you can see Internet Computer sits ahead of Solana, Arbitrum, Near, Phantom, and others. We can also see the percentage growth at the end of 2023, Q4 2023. You can see that ICP was the only chain there to be growing more than 50% at 64% growth in terms of numbers of developers. And then in the last few years, it's grown by over 1,000%. You can come down through this full report and get more information on Internet Computer by going to developerreport.com/ecosystem/Dfinity. So now we've got a magic combination. We've got ICP that's getting a lot of excitement behind it, okay? A lot of people getting involved on YouTube, getting involved on Twitter. It's the hype term that everyone's looking for out there. And that's a good thing if we've got it happening in line with other things. Because right now, mostly the people in the market are retail and not institutional money. And while retailers get hyped up and excited by things all the time, it's the institutions that we really want to start arriving in and starting to invest in the likes of ICP, because that's where we're going to see the exponential growth going forward. And luckily, seeing statistics like this, seeing very detailed reports by venture capital funds into projects like this is very, very positive for larger scale investments. And that gets me very excited. Once you start to realize these projects that are being built on ICP are starting to explode, they're worth going and looking at as well, guys. If you can go and find tokens and things for the likes of Sonic and things like that, then these could potentially do very well once they get launched. Now, I'm not sure if they've been launched yet, so you have to go and do your own research. So is it a good time to be diving into ICP right now? Well, obviously, if you were subscribed to this channel, which I urge you to do, because if you were, then you would have been getting in with me and the rest of my community back here at like $2 something. But what I want to do is this. I want to compare ICP at the top with Solana at the bottom. And there's a reason I want to do that. And it's because Solana has been booming earlier this year than ICP. Pretty much from the start of the year, Solana got going, but ICP was a little bit behind it. And you'll see if I draw these lines on this chart, it should be much clearer what I'm talking about. Because Solana broke out of its chart pattern down here around the 12th of October, but you can see ICP didn't really get going until nearly 2 months after that. And actually what we can see after the initial break from Solana is it did kind of have this little bit of sideways action that happened here. And I think that ICP is currently going through maybe this phase and maybe into this phase before that kind of eventual leg up towards this level. So right this second, it's very much dependent on Bitcoin whether or not ICP will come a little bit lower before continuing higher. But that's the truth. ICP will continue higher. From now, whether it pulls back before that, whether it goes straight up, you can't be certain. All we can be certain of is that this ecosystem is growing extremely fast, and the TVL and all those other things are going to help to prop up the price if the rest of the market starts to move lower down. And that means if more value is arriving into this ecosystem further down the line, it's going to be more positive for ICP anyway. But as you can see, this is a bit more of a kind of a slightly bearish pattern that we're seeing, somewhat of a double top coming in here. And we have just sort of tried to break this neckline here, which could indicate that we might be about to go slightly lower down towards this level. Now, in terms of whether or not ICP is a good purchase right this second, I do believe that ICP is probably going to get down maybe to around this $9.7 level, which, if we wait, would be around 13 or 14% lower. If that doesn't hold, the next kind of level down for ICP would be around this point, around the sort of $6.4 level. Can it happen? Absolutely. This is crypto. Nothing is guaranteed to go up. And no, ICP is not different. Price action is price action. Supply versus demand. If the market tanks, people will lose faith in lots of crypto projects. They will start to pull out their money and panic and all that good stuff. But we know the ICP is going to be worth much more in the future. But a lower risk strategy is if, for example, I had $100 to my name right now and I really wanted exposure to ICP and I hadn't been investing through the year, that maybe I could look to put in $50 at this current price. If it dropped back down to this green box, another $50. And if it got all the way down here, then you better believe I'm selling everything I own to try and buy more ICP. Let's zoom out. Now, lots of people are like, well, you know, the chart was up here once. It has a good chance of going here again. Wrong. This was caused by, guess what? Good old friends FTX. Not friends, okay? FTX basically wanted to destroy ICP when it launched, because ICP was a strong competitor to Solana, which again is one of my favorite layer ones out there. So what FTX did is they created futures contracts on their platform and they made ICP available as a futures contract. They forced the price up aggressively, causing everyone to FOMO in and drive a massive rally up in the ICP price, and then FTX sold it all, causing a ludicrously big crash in the price. So this I don't anticipate ICP getting to until maybe 2030 or, you know, after that. But that's fine. And we can see the market cap is just under $5 billion with a P. So where's that have us going? Well, I've seen other people using price predictions based on the cost of the internet and the potential scale that this is going to get to. I don't anticipate that in the next year or two, suddenly every single internet item is going to be running on ICP. Maybe like 10 or 20 years down the line, it could potentially be the case. But we want to know what's happening in the next year or two, right? I project at the top of the bull market, the entire crypto space is going to be worth somewhere in the region of $7 to $9 trillion. And during the last bull market, the top was around $2 trillion. Now, based off of that theory, we can look at a few different factors. The top of the market cap for Ethereum back in 2021, which is a layer one, and yes, ICP is slightly different. Can we anticipate that ICP could potentially reach the top of that market cap if the overall crypto market cap goes to $7 to $9 trillion? Personally, I think it would be bloody ambitious to see that happen, and that would be 100x. I've seen people making videos out there telling you 150x for ICP and put all your money in ICP and all that stuff. Don't put all your money in ICP. I love the project, but I don't think it's going to do 150x in the next 2 years. Could be wrong. I'd be shocked. I think more realistically, we should be looking towards very tops 30 to 50x for the ICP price. So a 30x would see ICP going towards $300, which will be pretty crazy. But personally, I'd be looking to take profits on ICP between a 15 and a 20x. And I'm sorry if this bursts your bubble a bit, because you've been told over and over again, 150x, 200x, whatever. Be very cautious of people who are telling you those things, okay? This is already quite a big coin, okay? $5 billion is pretty big. Saying that it's going to go to $500 billion to $1 trillion in this bull market is probably a bit much. And it's a bit risky because you'll also miss out on other things. But it's still very exciting. And I think when we get moving again in the markets, ICP is going to be one of the earlier ones to get a shove on. And if you want to learn more about what's going on in ICP and other cryptos on a daily basis, then you can get into the inner circle link down below. Now guys, we have 24 hours before the price doubles to $19.99 per month. However, if you dive in right now for $9.99, that price will never change on you. You will be locked in for $9.99 until you eventually leave the group. You can gain all different technical analysis and so many other things from a bunch of experienced traders all the time. You can also invest in pre-ICO tokens. This means that you can invest alongside the likes of Binance Labs and Polygon Studios by entering into the inner circle. This will give you some pre-sale prices where you can buy coins like the big whales are doing right now. I bought into a coin called Inspect back in the autumn, and on the day it launched it did a 28x on the price that I paid. Because I bought in at pre-ICO, you can often get a 5 or 6x cheaper than you can at ICO, and there's nothing else like this on the market. Not only will you get all these things, but you'll also gain access to the NFT and gaming group where you can find out about the latest GameFi projects. You can follow various different people interacting with airdrops, teaching each other how to follow airdrops and make the most of all the opportunities in crypto. And in just 2 days, we're going to be launching the new trade zone where you'll be able to follow daily trades that are going in from a group of full-time traders. I hope you enjoyed today's video, guys. If you did, make sure you hit the like button. If you're new to the channel and you want to learn more about the likes of ICP and others, then make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you in another video. Bye-bye.